People, welcome to 21 Questions with myself, IC. This is the Sit Down UK. I am the host, I'm the founder of the Sit Down UK, and we do this every single week, 9 p.m. And it's called 21 Questions. 21 Questions is about taking people from different industries, different places, and just understanding their journey, unpacking their highs, unpacking their lows to give you an understanding that, hey, we're all connected for our stories, we're all connected for our struggles, and we're actually all connected for our successes. And you can hear all that here first. Okay, so we have season 1 and season 2 that is waiting for you to binge, and you can do that via our IGTV channel. Okay, we've got over 50 episodes from amazing people with amazing stories who have done amazing things. Okay, so make sure if after this you've got time, or even on the weekend, go and binge watch seasons 1 and seasons 2. We've got an amazing guest today, Shanice Mears. She is the co-founder of The Elephant Room, was also the brand and talent manager for Guap magazine. So we're going to find out a bit more about her story. Now, if you are here today and you have never, ever been involved with 21 Questions, please let me get a first, number 1 in the comment section, because this is your first one, your first time joining us. So welcome. Each week we try and raise charity for, try and raise money for a different charity. And so this week we've chosen Great Ormond Street Hospital. So this is a hospital that deals with a lot of young children, and they do run on donations. Okay, this helps them battle a lot of illnesses, unique cases sometimes. So we're raising money for Great Ormond Street today. You can see the link at the bottom of the platform, the bottom of Instagram. £4, £2, £3, £5, £10, £20, £100, whatever you want to give. Let's give towards a worthy cause as doctors and nurses fight to help young children, especially young children, deal with the many illnesses and the ailments that they may have. So please get involved. Great Ormond Street is our chosen charity for today. Let's see how much we can raise. I think we raised about £33 last week. I would love us to hit at least £50 this week towards Great Ormond Street. All right, but nevertheless, let's get into it. Let's see who's in the house. Big up Andy Sarfo, my brother. I see, said jealousy. I said, got the whole industry mad at me. I said, big up Breachy, another sit down member, my sister also. Big up Savan Drawasa, I cannot say that name. Big up Julia, and Shani is in the building. So without further ado, let's get into it. Shani, I am coming over to you right about now. Let's get it popping. 21 questions. Holla. Let me see if we can get this lighting.
Hey.
Good evening. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I am good, man. I am good. It's been a hot day, so I've been gardening.
Oh, lovely.
And my daughter was helping me like water the plants and all that kind of stuff. So
Oh, that's so nice.
that was cool. How's your week been so far?
Yeah, it's been all right, I
Yeah.
got out of the house today because I've been working at home for the past so long. So today I switched up the scene and just went to like a wee work and
Oh, cool.
and worked. So that's been nice. And obviously, yeah, like you said, it's been hot and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's been nice to be out in the sunshine.
Do you prefer summer or winter?
Oh, summer. But I prefer winter fashion.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people say that because you can put on layers and
Yeah,
colours. Yeah.
yeah, you can switch it up a bit, but I do definitely prefer summer. My
Yeah.
skin deserves the heat.
Yeah, trust me. I'm not a winter person, but I get down with. I'm a June baby. My birthday is next Wednesday. Cough, cough.
Oh, happy birthday!
That's right. So, guys, give me vouchers. Give me Amazon vouchers, okay? If you want to give me Amazon,
That's the vibes. Amazon.
if you want to give me anything for my birthday, DM me a link to Amazon vouchers, and I'll love you forever. All right. But just even in 21 questions with Shanice, what do you prefer, Shanice or Shani?
Honestly, I really don't mind. I think since moving to London, and
Yeah.
obviously because of like my handles and stuff, Shani is just stuck.
Okay.
But I truly don't mind.
Okay.
I don't mind.
We'll go with Shani. Shani's nice and easy. Well, welcome to 21 Questions. Thank you for taking up the offer. I mean, I jumped on the back of interviewing Renee and was like, I didn't know you two knew each other, and
Yeah.
you had helped with the guest list, and that had got me job interviews here and there, and I was just like, man, you know, I was at that time I was so grateful that, oh my gosh, you're right there, like, yo. So, but looking more into your journey, I was just like, wow, this woman's, I salute her, and getting you on this platform is just a blessing. So it'd be great to tell your story. So you have 21 questions or more. You have one pass card. If you don't want to answer a question, you can use your pass card.
Okay.
But we're going to start off with a quick fire round, a couple of questions straight off the dome. Don't think about them too much. Let me see what you say. To everyone that's joined us, welcome. 21 Questions with Shanice Mears, and we're going to get straight into it like this. What is your favorite quote from Maya Angelou?
My favorite quote from Maya Angelou. Nobody but nobody can make it out here alone.
Why do you like that? I love that.
I just feel like, if anyone knows me, I love good work. Like, I think network is everything, and you can never do anything by yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that just speaks to me.
100%. I love it, 100%. When do you feel the most confident?
When do I feel in the shower? Like, I feel like it's so funny though, because I talk to God in the shower and I sing, and I just feel like I feel quite free. So
yeah,
I'm actually not thinking about it. That's probably when I'll feel the most confident.
And it's funny that I think everybody in their own house has a place where they're 100% themselves. For some people, it's their bedroom. As soon as they shut that bedroom door,
that's boom.
It's just them. Yeah,
fully.
What is the last thing you learned? You're someone who loves to learn new things. What's the last thing that you learned that really shocked you? Like, right, I didn't know that happened. Or I didn't know about that knowledge.
The last thing I learned that shocked me. Well, I suppose it didn't shock me, but today I was having a conversation with my mate about Europe, and I did not know that a lot of Bajans and Jamaicans settled in Amsterdam because of the docks, and there's like quite a rich history there for like Caribbean people, and I didn't know that.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So,
because of the docks.
Yeah, the docks that are, like the canals, and all that stuff.
Wow. Okay.
Blacks and dedicated to like all these people.
Wow.
Like,
no, you really learn something every day.
Yeah, I was like, big up us,
Yeah. Something that made you smile this week.
Something that made me smile this week. I supported someone with getting a new role, and they sent me some gifts, which is very sweet of them because they did
nice.
that. So that made me smile.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we're gonna get into it, but you are you're a real connector. Like, if you see an opportunity, you connect people, and I think as we'll go along, we'll talk about it. But it just seems to be in your nature, just to help and to see an opportunity for someone and say, "Yep, that can work for them," at no cost. So salute you for that. I salute you. What is one thing that you need to work on as a person?
I'm quite an impatient person. And that is just something that really just needs work. I'm very impatient, and sometimes it works to my detriment. So yeah.
Are you an impatient person who's on time, or an impatient person who's late?
I think I'm on time. I'm an on-time person. I'm an on-time person. But I feel like when I say impatient, I'm quite like, I make rash decisions and I rush into things, and like, yeah, I just need to slow down.
Yeah. What do you? I want to get into it too much, but because I'm the same. So what is it for you that says, "Nah, let me just do it, man"? rather than that process of waiting? What is it in your mind that says, no, I just got to do it?
You know what? Because I truly believe in the power of trial and error. Like, so I just think Will Smith has a quote, talking about quotes, I love quotes, and Will Smith has a quote, fail fast, fail forward, and fail often. And yeah, that is me. Like, I just do it quickly. So, like, so if this doesn't work, it's cool. Get back. Like, and that's kind of how I think. But sometimes also that's just not good, because doing 1,000 things at once, you have to have real faith as well, like, because if you get knocked like 10-15 times, you have to make sure that we are getting back up and doing that.
True. I do. What are you most proud of?
Oh gosh, what am I most proud of?
And this doesn't have to be career based.
Okay. In life.
Yeah.
In life. I just think, like, honestly, maybe it's like just coming to London and then being who I am and becoming the person I've become, because there was such a leap of faith in that, and didn't know what that entailed or was going to entail. So for me, I'm really proud to like whoa, like
I did that.
Yeah, like, yeah, man. We got you.
Yeah. I love that. Big up you. If you were appointed to be creative director of the EMAs, what would your theme be? What would you make the theme?
Of the EMA? The EMA was MTV? That's so funny, because my dream at
one point... Yeah, that's it. That was your dream once.
Yeah. What would my theme be? How can my screen lock? Sorry. I think my theme would be Black Masquerade.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know how like obviously the Met Gala happens like every year, and everyone is like goes crazy to the gala, like it has to be. And obviously we know we know the masquerade and stuff, but I think more often than not, when we see things like that, like masquerade balls and stuff, we see it through a very white lens. And I just love to just slap some Black culture on that. So, and like, yeah, I think I'd do a good job.
Yeah. It's coming one day. One day it's coming.
Yeah. Black Masquerade. I'd love to sort of, if Black people and Black culture was in charge of that, then I think it would be sick.
Nice. You're the person for it. What's your favourite item in your wardrobe? You like to do a lot of thrift shopping, secondhand clothes. What's the favourite thing you've got in there?
I have a oversized Adidas coat, which is kind of like, when you go like snowboarding and like skiing, that is massive, but that I love it. It's like one of my best puffers. And it's like a one, like I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anyone in it.
Cool.
So yeah, that's thrift. Yeah, thrift shopping.
Cool. If you set up a school, what classes would you make mandatory?
Mandatory public speaking. I'd make sure there's financial literature.
Come on.
Confidence coaching.
Come on. You've really thought about this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and also if I'd like to homeschool them. I think it would be more come under like well-being, so everything about like self-development, self-love, all that kind of stuff. And then obviously like sport and all that. I think activity is important. So like sport, anything active that gets your body like working, but across the board. So it wouldn't just be like bound to like football and stuff. Because again, I feel like when we are looking at activity, in a sense of like moving the body. I think we should just get, obviously me being a dancer, like an ex-dancer, I think we should just get used to the idea of movement. So that, whether that be movement in the space, whether that be drama, whether that be hockey, whether that be that, I think we should just get our bodies moving. I think that'd be an exploration of everything.
Yeah, I love that. What would you call the school?
What would I call the school? The School of Artistry.
Come on.
Yeah.
I love it. Someone asked, what is GOSH? GOSH is the charity that we're raising money for today, and that's for Great Ormond Street Hospital. Great Ormond Street Hospital is a children's hospital. So feel free to donate what you want to donate. £2, £1, £5, £100. Okay, last few questions. What's the last campaign that you saw that really wowed you? And you were like, yes, that's amazing.
Last campaign that I saw that really wowed me. Do you know what? If anyone knows me, I am not easy to please when it comes to campaigns. But the last campaign that really wowed me, and okay, it didn't wow me, but I thought, well done, was the Procter & Gamble campaign, where they done stereotypes in black faces. So it was like a lead up, it was like a short, very, very short snippet of like a short film of about 2-3 minutes, where it's like tense music, and you see like a guy driving a low rider, you see like these guys entering a shop, and it's quite tense, and then it is a voiceover talking like, what you think they're about to do is not what you think, and then the guy ends up meeting his grandma, the boys end up waiting for their friend in the shop and buying Skittles, and it's just like the stereotype of what we think black people are in comparison to what we're actually doing. Is that, and I think that really stuck out, and because it came from Procter & Gamble as well, like, which is a brand that you don't usually assume to do just like stuff
exactly.
I was just like, well done. I was impressed.
Good. I've got to go and check that one out. Okay, last one I'm going to ask you is, what is the greatest networking bring-in that you've had, that somebody's brought you into?
The greatest network bring-in I've had, and this goes down to also like opportunity. So the person hasn't like necessarily become my friend, but just like an opportunity, like kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe when I got approached by the special advisor to the Prime Minister on LinkedIn. Like,
as you do.
Yeah. At that point, and I was literally at Downing Street like every other week. And I think at that point I was like, I'm not living your average. like your average, like, oh, you wanna like even actually, so funny as well. Actually, I've got coffee with the deputy director of the cabinet office next week. But yeah, like, he's like now my OG, I suppose. Jeez. Like, we just check in on each other from time to time. So yeah, I'd say that's definitely, because it's definitely a whole new space. But I suppose I was exposed to a lot during that period of time. Still now, but. Obviously, that was when Theresa May was in Downing Street. But yeah. Jeez.
Your life is colourful. We're going to look into that. But thank you. That was light quick fire round. So big up to everyone that has joined us so far. 21 questions with Shanice Mears. I call you, I dub you, if you allow me to, but I call you the creative wanderer, because wherever creativity flows and passion flows, it's almost like you're attracted there, and if you can't find that, you'll withdraw yourself. And I love that, because a lot of times we're taught in school to find one thing, go with that for the next 40 years or whatever. But you go for where your heart is, and I love that. I want to start from the top, and I want to ask you, family wise, what was your favorite childhood memory?
Oh, so my dad died when I was really young, and I remember he had cancer and he couldn't walk. But when he came home from like to visit at the hospital, he would sit down and he would have like a footstool, and he would say, "Oh, we're gonna do the Olympics." And me and my brother, listen, I'm not. We took that so seriously, and my dad's foot would be like a hurdle, and then would race and would jump over it, and that was his way of like obviously playing with us.
Oh,
And I just remember it so vividly. I actually remember like ready, set, like, and he was proper like go, like. So that was
how was you so sure that you would clear it?
nah, we're clearing it. And to be fair, it was very low. When you really deep it, like the foot thought it wasn't high at all. It was so low, like. But yeah, that was. I still remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah. And how many brothers and sisters have you got?
I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
2 sisters. Okay. What's
Yeah.
your kind of relationship with them like?
So me and my brother are quite close. We're also quite close in age.
Mm.
So yeah, about like 4 years apart. My eldest sister, we're also really close, but my eldest sister is like a lot older. So my nephews are 23, 18, and 14. And my other sister, I'd say that's quite a turbulent relationship. Like she like suffers from like mental illness. So yeah, but I mean, all love, but yes, quite a complex relationship, I suppose.
Yeah. And if you compare that relationship, your childhood relationship with your mum, and to how it is now, has it remained the same or has it developed over the years?
Oh gosh, that is anyone who knows Mother Bev, yeah. Oh God. Honestly, she like my mum is like my best friend, hands down. Like, and we've been through quite a I'd say quite a journey. Especially like me, I think I genuinely was too old for my age, like genuinely. And I think that was just a very, very stressful time because I was just giving my mum bare trouble, bare heat. But at the same time, she never stifled my voice or made me feel like I had to sort of, tone down. And I think she gave me levels of autonomy at a very early age that I really, really appreciate now. And we have a very, very open relationship. I can talk to her about anything. She's the first to know anything that happens in my life. I moved out when I was like my second year of uni. I moved out, so like 19. Then I went back after uni for 6 months and then moved out again. So I haven't been home really for about 8-9 years. So I think over the course of the past 8 to 9 years, like it's just gone like so much better just because we've just been able to build that. So yeah, I'd say so.
I'm speaking to more and more. I spoke to Lungi Mahanga 2 weeks back. She owns a bakery kind of donut business. She kind of said the same thing about her relationship with her parents, how if she's going to make a big decision, she has to talk to them.
Yeah.
She can't do it on her own. And I'm just, my daughter, she's 2 years old. And so hearing all these stories of this relationship, it seems like it's so pivotal and important to the success that we see. So the reason I'm interviewing now is what your mum has kind of cultivated through her upbringing of you. And I wanted to know, what were some of the things you think she did? And, talking about that autonomy as well, what were some of the things that she did practically that has made it that this relationship is like it now?
I think it was both subconsciously and consciously. Like, so for example, subconsciously, obviously I said my dad got really sick quite early. Like I was like 4, and I saw like gender roles that changed quite quickly. Like she became like head of the household, like being the mom, cooking, cleaning, whatever, but then also working and keeping everything together, looking after him. And then like that level of like strength, I don't think I've ever seen ever. And I only deep it as I'm older, because I just think me with 1 child, I think raw. But then 2 children, then 2 other big daughters, at the time, my sister was a newlywed with one son, and I just thought, wow, like my mom she was present for all of that. Do you know what I mean? So I think that just made me think, wow, like that's the level of strength, like, but also vulnerability, because obviously, like, I saw her cry, and do you know what I mean? And like, she still let me into that.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I think, like, I have anyone who knows me, Renee's on this, or anyone who knows me, or anyone who's like my friend, like, knows that I'm always like, love you, like, I love you, like, honestly, like, I'm such an open and affectionate person. And I think my mum wasn't really like that, but she didn't stifle me in that, like, because I was like that, it brought it out of her.
Wow.
So always like, love you so much, mum, I love you too, like, do you know what I mean? And I feel like I love that, because a lot of the time, sometimes what I hear from some of my friends, if their parents aren't like that, they kind of shut it down, so then they feel like they can't do it, whereas my mum was the opposite, where she embraced it, and then everyone sort of adopted that, and now we, like, throughout the family, we're all like that. I think levels of autonomy was more, I think when it comes to more like my personal relationships that I've had, I think, like, when I was like curious about boys, for example, like, she didn't like shut me down and was like, no, like, concentrate on your study.
Go and read your books.
Really like that. Yeah, she wasn't really like that. Don't get me wrong, she did say to me, like, don't make no man take you the hottest feed. You know what I mean? Just don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Time, like, I remember, and at the time, again, I didn't even deep how important this was, but at the first, like, I remember, I started dating, like, my first boyfriend, and he was a white guy, and I was really like, I was really torn, because I was just like, Mum, like, I don't know how to approach this. It's quite new for me. Like, do you think I'd be accepted? Like, and like, she was just like, if you're not, then he's not for you, innit? Like, but I don't think that you should let. Do you know what I mean? It was a really honest and open conversation, and I think stuff like that allowed me to really make decisions for myself. Same with like uni, when it came to like what I was studying. I did dance performance. She didn't understand why I wanted to go to uni to do dance. Like, she did not get it. But then she didn't like shun me or discourage me. She was just like, you know what, if this is what you want to do, just make sure it's something that you do, and you do it to your best ability. And again, I just think she allowed me to like trial and error. Like, I ended up going to uni, and yeah, don't get me wrong, my course was cool, but then I realized, yeah, this is not what I really want to be doing. And at the end of that that degree, she came, she saw my FMP, she saw everything, read my dissertation, and she was just like, this is brilliant, like, this, you're so smart. And I was just like, really? Like, I was just like, yeah, like, and I was just like, oh wow, like she always made me feel like proud of like my steps and my movements, you know what I mean? And I feel like that in itself is like building my own confidence. And then, like, even when I wanted to move to London, she didn't believe me. She actually did not believe me. Then I got the job, like, I got my internship, and then she was like, lad, you're not lying, like, she's like, you really, and then instead of like, obviously she was in her feelings for a bit, but after that, she was like, all right then. So the first place I was renting, she came up here, viewed it with me, like, you know what I mean? Like, she just really always anchored me and like supported me. And I think that she always leaves me to it, though. She never has too much of an opinion. Like, she will say her piece and then that's it. Like, I mean, or she'll make a point and then that's it. Don't get me wrong though, like, my mom is still very, very Jamaican and very old school in some of her thinking, but she also, like, she recognizes that she has to unlearn a lot of stuff. And like, my sister always tells me, like, nah, you got a different mom, you know, like, I did not have, like, my sister always says it, like, I did not get this, like, when I was like, mom was not like this when I was growing up. But I do think that, like, my mom is genuinely open to learn, which I really appreciate from her. And she just respects me. Do you know what I mean? Like, she respects boundaries, and like, she realizes now that I'm an adult, and she doesn't talk to me anyhow. And like, and I like that we've got that now, because she realizes that you, you just can't do that. Do you know what I mean? Because we are now all adults, and I think she recognizes that, because for a long time she just thought parent child, and I think because for a long time she thought like that, that then sort of, I suppose, informed her behavior.
Yes.
Whereas now she unlearns a lot of that, and it allows her to relearn, and it allows her to open up more, and it allows her to admit her wrong, be accountable. You know what I mean? And like, I just don't think they were really practicing that as parents. And don't get me wrong, they did what they could, but it was very like survival mode.
Trust.
I'm a provider for the house. No one can tell me nothing under my roof. Like, oh, you know, all of it. I mean, probably all have. You know what I mean? Like, she's just like, don't bother, do this, don't bring no boy picnic, like all of this. But, and don't get me wrong, I got all of that, but then at some point she stepped back and she was like, you know what, if I do this, I'll lose my child. So I can't do that. And I just rate her highly for it, because not everyone can admit their wrongs or like be accountable for like the way they behave, even as a big adult. Do you know what I mean? And I just, I think that's it.
And I always say, I like when you said that, because I always think parents are just big children.
Yeah.
They're just children, but they're just a bigger size. So they carry the same traumas, they carry the same searching of identity, they carry the same childhood scars. Everything, they're just bigger, and they'll just put over us. But I think, like you said, your mum has taken that time to do a lot of self-reflection, self-awareness that is making her parent different. It's informing her parenting. And I think that's one. With me, I'm doing counselling at the moment. And so it's shaping how I am with my daughter, and all things that I think. And so big up to Mumsy.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Beverly. Big up, Beverly.
Just looking at that, just looking at the family setup again, this one's the final thing it asks is, what effect, if any, did your father's absence have on you now as you're older? Is it a driving force? Is it still a distant memory? What does it do for you now as you're older?
You know what? I feel like even, and that's another thing why I rate my mum highly, because I feel like she made, again, I don't know, subconsciously or consciously, she made him feel very present. Like, even though he died quite early in my early years, like obviously being 4, but I know my dad's quotes. I know like what he worked at. I know everything about him. So for me, he has quite a spiritual presence in my life. Like he's like, and if I talk about it, people are like, really? And I'm like, no, like for real, like I feel like that's my dog. I feel like he's just in my life. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I do feel him quite strongly as a just his presence is quite strong for me. And like even I just come back from Jamaica, and I haven't been to Jamaica since my dad died. So when he died, we went out there. And I haven't gone back with the family. I haven't gone back with like my brother. I just haven't had the time, or just haven't. It's just things have just like not been able to make it happen. And then I went back this year, and I kid you not, the first night I got there, my dad came to me in a dream and he said, "I know that you're in Jamaica. I want you to enjoy yourself." And I told my mum that. My mum was, "That's mad." I said, "I swear down. First night I landed, he said, I know that you're here, and I'm here too." And that's how strong it is in my life. Like he's here. Like, and so for me, like obviously him not being here in the physical has had an impact on my relationship with men, and like how I look at like fatherhood, I suppose. It's particularly gender roles. Like I suppose that, you know, like there's I think complexities around that, but yeah, I think all in all, still positive.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, man. You could have used your pass card at any time, but yeah, you're still going strong, strong.
Quite
Um,
an open person though, so
which I appreciate. I love it. Going on to who you are as a person, because some people can be intoxicated by some people can be intoxicated by what you've done and what you've achieved and who you are and what you stand for, but not know you, not actually know like who you are as a person. So I wanted to ask, what's the biggest misconception that you might feel that people might have of you?
biggest misconception. I don't know if this is actually a misconception, but I suppose I'm going by what people might assume on Instagram and stuff, like like on social media, is that I'm like mad confident, because that's not the case at all.
Serious? Okay, no, I'm like that, so I can believe it.
Yeah, like I think people, a lot of people assume that I'm quite a confident person. Don't get me wrong. I think that there's definitely like levels, but I work a lot on myself to be externally the person who I am. And I overthink. If anyone overthinks like me, Lord, I feel yeah, because you know what I mean. So I think that is probably one of the biggest misconceptions.
That's interesting. So does it take more for you to do I guess the big things that you do, or it's becoming easier?
I think you know what? I think it depends, because the more it's like the more you do something, the more you become confident. So obviously, I suppose practice makes perfect. But for me, it's more around like I feel like I have this like wheel of life, and then like it's separated, sort of how my life is separated, so like money, love, God, family, career, and then it's like for me, it's like if like you rank them at like let's say 100%, and if all of those are not at least 80%, then there's an imbalance happening in my life.
Wow.
So it's like, and I know that because I can feel it. So I feel like sometimes I neglect, for example, family, and then I move way into career, and then I start to feel the imbalance, and then I start to feel anxiety, and then I start to feel sad, and do you know what I mean? And then and then I have to go back to my wheel of life and be like, okay, what the stuff, in order to create that balance again. And like it's like an ongoing work, and that's kind of how I see it. So it's not necessarily that it becomes easier, but there is a lot of reevaluation that I do quite often.
Yeah. I remember you said in an interview, you said if there's any time that you are doing something and you don't feel happy, you go back and reset your goals, review, reshape, re-strategize, because something has just something's not right.
Yeah, exactly.
You're someone who's very outspoken. You speak your truth. On LinkedIn, you are like you're a rarity, because LinkedIn is very. I sometimes think it can be a bit pretentious. A lot about, hey, look at me, look at me. But you're somebody you see stuff, you call it, you say it, and I wondered, even though that is you speaking your truth, do you ever get tired of being the first one to say it? Do you ever get tired of being the first one to be bold enough to say what everyone can see?
Yeah, sometimes. I was actually thinking about that yesterday. Like, because actually, like, when you think, like, sometimes I want to just join a club or join I don't know, a membership, or without it being trying to fix a problem. Like, I just want to enjoy the pool, or like, come when my bitches come up. Like, do you know what I mean? I just want to chill. It's like sometimes it's like I'm just trying to chill and enjoy life. Do you know what I mean? But But then I do recognize that it's important to be at the forefront of change, because the only thing that is inevitable is change. And if it's not the change that you want to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and it does eventually happen and you did nothing, then you only have yourself to be accountable for. So I feel like that's kind of how I see it. So it's like I can't move in with the time.
Mm-hmm.
Then as I'm moving with the time, I'm seeing things that are happening. I'm like, what the hell is this? But then it's like, well, if I'm not doing anything, then of course I'm gonna see things that I'm not necessarily happy with or don't completely align with. So I'm just trying to build and do as much as I can that in a positive way, to know that, you know what, when the dons are coming up, they don't have to go through all of that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And they can just enjoy.
Yeah. So you are the you'll go through the door first, so others can
Yeah, I don't
come
mind.
running through.
Oh, I don't mind.
I like that. I used to be a teaching assistant in primary school and secondary school, and cover teachers were that was that was the time when it was time to have fun.
Fun. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you've been a cover teacher.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask, what did you learn in being a cover teacher that you applied to your new role in lecturing in Kingston? Is there anything that you transfer?
I think it was just really at that point I recognized how important it was to have particularly young teachers, because they see you, and there is an element of them that wants to move mad. Yeah? But then there is also a level of respect.
Trust me.
And some girls tried to bad up one girl in my class. I had to shut down the whole stuff. And I remember, and so many of them were on report. So many of them, it was a girls' school. And I was like, why are you all on report? Like, what are you doing? I was so confused. And me who's quite a goody two shoes in school as well, so I just was spun. But one of the girls, before she left the classroom, because for the next class, she was like, Miss, we need teachers like you. I just, the girls would have so much more respect. I could actually enjoy coming to school. and from that, I just was like, wow, and I was only 21. And I was thinking, oh God, I ain't trying to stay here. But real talk, I was like, wow, that's quite a powerful thing that you just said, and I don't think you know that it was that powerful. So I've always wanted to infiltrate the education system. I think that many of us should. And when I saw that lecturing job, I just applied. I don't have any teaching necessarily qualifications or degree or anything, but I know that I'm 100% capable. So I literally brought all of that insight to the table, in terms of I understand how people think, or students. Yeah, I was once it wasn't long ago that I was in a classroom, and then obviously also I do have the expertise to lend to them in a way whereby I feel like I can understand how they learn. And yeah, I think it was just that, just knowing that there's a level of relatability that you can bring that again will inform how you teach.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because I do my 9 to 5 is I teach young people finance, personal finance.
Nice.
So financial literacy, and just our team as a whole, it lends itself to what you're talking about. We're old, but we're young. We know how to meet you at your level and where you're at, and it makes transferring the knowledge much more impactful, much more easier, because it's the vessel, the vessel, and the way in which we do it. So I think that girl is right. If we had, some of us, I think if we had that in school, the acting up was because it was boring.
Yeah.
And all we wanted was, could you teach science in a way that...
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that we're not. It's not that we're not smart. It's just that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need somebody to engage me in a way.
In a way that I can understand.
Exactly. Exactly.
Give me 2 seconds. I want to check my angle because
No worries. No worries. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 21 Questions with Shanice Mears. Thank you for joining us. If you're enjoying the conversation so far, let's get some feedback in the comments section, please. It's been fun, man. We're halfway through, and no pass card has been.
no pass card. I don't
No
know.
pass card. I want to ask you about. There was a quote that you said. You said, "I just want to see more people believe in younger talent." And you've had a number of years of experience in recruitment, in hiring people, and talking about that LinkedIn aspect as well. People looking for jobs, and what is it that you would always look for when hiring somebody into a company? What are some of the qualities you'd always kind of look for?
I think the one thing I always truly want to understand about a person is, aside from your skill set that you're applying for, so I don't know, graphic design or copywriter or marketing manager, aside from the skill set you're bringing, and obviously you probably are incredible at your job, what are you as an individual bringing? Like, whether that be your cultural knowledge, whether that be your understanding around certain insights for certain topics, whether that be your inquisitiveness. You know what I mean? Like, but as an individual, what are you doing? Because for me, a lot of people, anyway, learn on the job. A lot of people do. And there's a girl, shout out Nafisa Bakar, who runs a platform called Amalia.com or Amalia, and she can't even remember the quote, but she basically said, I have never regretted hiring someone based off character and not skill alone.
Wow.
More than I've regretted hiring someone for skill and never looking at character.
Jeez.
And I just thought, yeah, true. Because when you hire a prick, you become accountable for that prick. And you have to think, why the hell did I do that? But actually, if you hire an incredibly kind, attentive, curious person, you're actually okay if they're not that good at their job just yet.
Just yet.
Because you can give them the training, the support, and also it's easy because of the type of person that they are. And more often than not, you find the pricks are not even that good at their job. So you're not even that sick anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I always say, like, I have a nephew, like I said, who's 14 years old, who's going to be 15 next week. And I said to him, listen, when he used to act up at school, I said, listen, if you ain't coming home with pure A stars, if you ain't coming home with the absolute best in that class, do not speak. Don't open your mouth. Because you can't even say, I'm the best in the class. You can't even say that. So now you look silly. And your teachers, more often than not, make an assumption about you based on your behaviour. And then they look at your grades. And then they'll look at your grades and be like, see, they don't match his behaviour. You know what I mean? Whereas if they were getting pure A stars, pure things, then really you're going to be like, yeah, but I'm the best in the class. I'm the one.
What can you tell me?
You know what I mean? What can you say? I even say to my sister, what can you say? If he's, you get me, at least he's doing his thing. But if he's not, bro, you better just be silent and walk your book. You know what I mean? And I think that's just kind of how I see it in life. Like, I feel like me, I would never like act like I'm the best at anything because I know that I'm not. But at the same time, I know that I'm also very good. So it's like, the reason why I speak like that is because there is a level of hard work that you need to put into something in order to even have any type of chat.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
So your work itself has to speak before you do.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of how I look at like recruitment and CVs and cover letters. Like, I've sat down with so many people with their CV and cover letter, and I'm like, this here is a layman's sentence. Like, it doesn't actually make sense. I will be the best at anything that you do to me, like be the best at what? Like, you don't even know what the job entails yet. So how you know you're going to be the best? Don't tell them lies. But you can say, if I am given a task to do, outlining it, I know that I will be able to achieve X because in previous roles I've been able to accolade. And then you're like, okay, I hear that. Respect it. Do you know what I mean? And that is a sentence that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what we often do. Like, I'm passionate about the industry. What industry? What industry are we talking about? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and there's just so many buzzwords that people use, and it's like, what industry are we talking about? Are we talking about the creative industry, the food industry, the pharmaceutical industry? Like, what are we talking about? And then if you talk about, I am passionate about the creative industry, but in particular music, because I really enjoy listening to, and then you type the genres. This artist recently came out, and like, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. Do you know what I mean? And you're thinking that is what draws me to people, because you can gauge what type of person they are based on the information they've put in front of you. And I always know when I've got a generic CV, when it's been sent to bare people versus something that's been sent to me
directly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of how I see it.
This is why we need you, because I think, especially the recruitment process has never been. We've never been taught the updated version of getting a job. We were taught how to create CVs in school, then we went on work experience, and then we went into the world. Yeah. And so when we approach our CVs and job hunting, I am a young professional I am so creative, I am passionate, I'm hard worker, I'm a team player. And
I'm laughing because it's so true, isn't it? Oh my God.
But we need somebody who's on the other side that can say, okay, so what? Because in reality, everybody that starts a job is good for the first a month.
Yeah.
And then we start, once we understand how everything works, then we start being late and sick. So give me who you are, and I can actually see if you fit into what is there. So that's why we need more people like you, because you can see through that and bring out the realness. You talked about working hard, and you've got accolades upon accolades, and just recently in your stories you was able to post the trophy. But I feel that you're still very humble with it. And I wanted to know, is there something you're really gunning for, like a particular award? I remember when Getz released his album and he saw how close he was to getting to #1, he and the team sat down and were just like, you know what, we could get this, And so the video was like, look, guys, I want it. I'm not ashamed. I want that #1 spot. So I wonder for you, is there a certain accolade that you would be, yes, I've made it?
Well, you know what? I'm going to say something quite controversial. I was shortlisted for Forbes 30 for under 30 this year and didn't get it.
Jeez.
And
giving us the scoop.
I'm not going to lie, I was spun. I was thinking how, I was actually thinking how, I know I am deserving of this accolade. I know I am. Facts. But I put so much to it. I put so much attachment to it. And then when I didn't get it, I was sad. And I thought to myself, look at that. Look what you've done, Shaq. Look what you've done. Look what you've made yourself, build yourself up to. So now I don't do it. I haven't put, if I get something, I'm so incredibly humbled and honored, but I don't attach myself to it anymore because I know what that can do to me. And you have to, I always do it. I ask myself, who do I want it for? Because if I get it and no one sees it, does it still mean the same thing to me as if when I get it and then everyone sees it? And we're obviously in the Instagram generation where it's announcement culture, and you know what I mean, which is why I put that thing up today, and I've done a reflection of like lots of things, and I did say it was a snapshot because it truly is a snapshot of what I've achieved the past 6 months. There's so much, but actually it doesn't matter because I'm just doing the work. And I think, don't get me wrong, there's places I'd like to be and people I'd like to be amongst that I see myself and I'm like, yeah. So like I tweeted the other day, like Bizoma St. John, who is incredible. If she said to me, let's be mates because we can learn off each other, then I've made it. Yeah. Bizoma St. John wants to learn off me. What? Like, I listen to Oprah Super Soul. If Oprah calls me for a Super Soul, I've made it. I've made it. You know what I mean? Jay-Z phones me and says, yo, you want to come to the Rock Nation brunch? Bring 1 + 1 + 1.
Who are you taking?
That's a hard question.
Because I'm telling you, Shanice, like, who you don't pick is going to be impossible.
If I'm married by then, my husband.
And if you're not married?
I don't know. But that's the easiest thing to say right now. But like, Cheers. Yeah, like that, like them things there that I think, yeah, because in fact, +2, I'm taking Jide and Ibrahim.
Wow.
Yeah, +2, and I'm taking Jide and Ibrahim.
+1?
+1, I don't know. I still don't know. +2, I'm taking them, man. Yeah. Because, and they won't mind me saying this, but I put them forward for Forbes and they also got shortlisted and didn't get it, which I was just thinking, what? Right. But me and Ibrahim were saying, oh yeah, it would have been nice, but you know what, we're lit. So it's okay, because at least we know that we are there. We can be on that list. Like, we still got shortlisted and we're still something that we can, like, a lot of people don't even think that they can even get a Forbes. So the fact that we even have that is an achievement in itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, people say to me sometimes, like, I've been asked this quite a few times, in fact, like, if you get offered an OBE or an MBE, would you take it? And it's a question I sit on sometimes, like, I don't know, actually. Never really thought about it, but I've been asked it more than 3 times. And I've had that conversation with my sister. My sister's like, mate, it's an achievement in itself that people be asking you them questions because they actually think that you will one day be asked to do them. Like, do you know what I mean? So like, that in itself is a level of where you're at in life. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you need to think about, the process and the journey and where you've come to, rather than what you actually say, because you don't know. You never know. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of how I just see everything. Like, it's not really about like the accolade, but it's more like the journey of where I'm going and then the types of things that come to me at that point. Like, so like, who would have known the special advisor would find me? I didn't know that, but it wouldn't even have been on my list of accolades either, but happened. Do you know what I mean? And like yeah, just like lots of different things, like there's an alcohol brand that I've been working with, and the global marketing director hit me up in December. Now that's like my dog. Like, I helped him get, like, I was in the whole process for the next hire, there's next senior hire, and then I, like, you know, I did that with them, and I would have never thought of that as something I could do, but then it happened. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't even place anything on it. I just wait for whatever to happen. It happens.
Yeah. And I posted a video, I think this afternoon, Michaela Coel. She was talking about her writing, I May Destroy You. Is that I May Destroy You? Yeah. And she was saying that it's the process that she found the most rewarding.
Yes.
And that sometimes the journey can be so focused on the outcome let's get the series out. But she said, do not forget like the power and the joy of the because in that process, all manner of things come. She just look at me BAFTA she won. Oh my God.
Absolutely sick. Yeah, 100%. Like 100%. And God always has something better for you. I think you have it in your head, but then He showed you something, and you're like, "Rah, like, I didn't even know this. Like, I didn't even know that was possible for me." You know what I mean? And I think that is kind of how I see it. Like, I just wanna, that's kind of how I see it.
My youth pastor always used to say, you cannot want better for yourself than what God has planned. There's you cannot. And that sometimes God is actually shielding you from certain successes because your internal mentality, your heart, it can't handle it.
Yeah.
Not yet. It hasn't gone through the testing that needs to be ready and handle that. And, sometimes if I watch a Jay-Z interview, they reel off his accolades, or Beyonce, they reel off their accolades. And I watch their faces and they're not even phased.
Yeah.
But it's because they've come to a certain place in their mind where like, that's cool. It's great, but...
Yeah. Jay-Z's a wise man as well.
Yeah.
He's like, he's got some really powerful lessons, I think. And he's an example of, I think, understanding like struggle and what it means to really shape struggle into something that you're passionate about, or creativity, and then using that creativity to create better. And obviously, he talks about buying back the block and all of that, but even just beyond money, like how he talks about parenting and like what he wants his daughter to become at this time. And it was just blue. Like, I heard, like, I've never heard a man talk about compassion in the way he has. And I just think, yeah, man, like, that's what's important. Like, those things there, like, do you know what I mean? And I think that's probably why, like, he was on the shop the other day and he was talking about, he just got put into the, what is it?
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And he was like, he was telling Blue, like, oh, your dad's in the Hall of Fame. And he was like, she was like, yeah, okay. And he was like, rah, she don't care. He was like, rah, she really don't care, but she don't, like, it is what it is, isn't it? And then it was just a casual day, him taking Blue to school, and he was just like, that's when you know, like, that's not even that important. It is. It's amazing. It's amazing, and he loves that. But when he deeps it, it's not the most important thing happening right now, because, do you know what I mean? Like, he's the most important thing to him, who is Blue, doesn't even care like, about, do you know what I mean? And I think it's just so good to be able to recognize that, because a lot of people, I think humility is something that we should all carry with ourselves. And I think it's a beautiful thing when we understand what humility means to us, and then how we then project that to other people, because some people pretend to be humble, and I think it's important to recognize that within ourselves. Trying to watch the episode of The Shop, but I can't find it anywhere. Oh, yeah, I watched it in clips, but I'll message you.
Yeah, if you scour that internet.
Yeah, I'll message you.
And lastly, just I know I won't take too much of your time, I wanted to ask about how important your faith has been in your success, in your journey, in your process. How important has it been, and how has it kind of shaped you?
You know what? Like, well, in a short answer, like, instrumental. But I've had quite a complex relationship with Christ, because not necessarily with Christ himself, but I went to a very racist, small church that really, I didn't really understand why my mum sent me there, to be honest. But I'm only recognising that now. when I think about it, I'm like, he really said that to me. Like, why would you say that to a child? Like, do you know what I mean? So you're clocking it as you grow.
And what would they say?
Like, it's different for your kind.
Okay.
Like, it's like passive aggressive.
Yeah.
They would check labels on my clothes. When my mum was, but it was very strange. It was very, very strange. And at that point, it was kind of like, do I just leave? Because now I'm kind of old enough, 14, 15, I can make decisions if I want to. Or do I leave here, but still carry on my journey?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it's about, your relationship, with God. And I suppose that's what I chose. But I do think that experience shaped how I view people and church. And I never ever really found another home, really. But I do think I found a home in Christ. So, like, I said about like that strong spiritual presence with my dad. That absolutely would not be able to be possible if I didn't have, first and foremost, a relationship with God. So I think, and like, I remember having a conversation with one of my friends that I had in uni one time, and I used to say to him, how do you pray? Like, I used to just ask him, like, is it like put your hands together and you how do you do it? And he was just like, nah, like, pray is like an everyday thing, and you just talk to him, like, it's like. And I was just like, really? Like, just like, yeah, like, you don't need to do so, like, what is this putting hands together? Like, and he was just like, is that what you do? And I was just like, well, yeah, like, he was just like, nah, like, you just talk, like, you give thanks, and, you talk about your day, like, it's just, like, don't put too much pressure, like, you know what I mean? And from that conversation, I've just spoke. And it's just changed that my whole growth of how that relationship is built. And obviously, I love quotes, so I know. I wouldn't say I know the word like that, but I do know the word. So I feel quite confident in the way I live my life. Obviously, not perfect, and I would never claim, but we are imperfect vessels. So it's kind of one of them things where, as you're on your journey, you just recognize that you're living through him. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's a really complex space, though, because I feel like a lot of different people have a lot to say about a lot of different things. Obviously, you lay respect on any other person who has, different religions or views and stuff. But ultimately, I think it's always about like remembering where home is for you, and that's kind of just how I see it. So, yeah. And I have this conversation with a lot of like my different friends, especially my friends who are like hardcore Christians, and again, their journey is just different to mine. And I completely respect them and love them, but again, I just think it's different.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Love it. Thank you so much, man. This has been deep. This has been beautiful. Your last question. You haven't used your pass card.
yeah. You haven't really asked anything where I'm like, I ain't trying to answer that.
But it's because you're open book, so it's almost like it's natural for you.
Yeah.
So I did a bit of digging.
Yeah. What did you find? Oh God. It's actually funny. I often forget how much is out there of me on the internet.
But this is good digging. I did a bit of digging through friends, through people that know you.
Okay.
And I asked them one question. I said, what do you love about Shani the most? And this is what came back. She wholeheartedly wants people to win and is forever putting people on without a second thought. Another one. She keeps striving for better, and not just for her, but for others around her. Another one. She's loud with her support for others. It's so genuine. Another one. She's the MVP, always plugging people to opportunities and putting people on. She truly does everything she can to make sure everyone is eaten. Okay? And you can see a common thread through that.
Big up, big up. Oh, that's so nice.
There's such a common thread through there, a selfless common thread through there. And in that selflessness, there is a giving away of yourself in different pieces to different people, to different causes. So I wanted to ask as the final question, legacy-wise, how would you like to be remembered? In all these pieces that you give away, how would you like to be remembered?
I would like to be remembered. I think there was the one that you just said is that she's loud in her support. Like that is a really good description, I think, because I always just say, like, I have a quote that I say inspired by Maya Angelou, and it's, what is the point in learning if you have no intention to teach? So I just want to be remembered that everything that came to me came also through me. You know what I mean? And that at every point or at any point in my life, if given the opportunity, I was also giving an opportunity. And I think that's just very important to me. Like, I will never understand people who want to be successful alone, or who only want to see their friends, or like do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, in order, when we're really talking, and I could go so deeper into this, but when we're really talking about systemic, if we continue with that mind frame, we are creating our own systems and excluding other people on that journey, which is the same thing the man did to us. So when we're talking about people, we have to be talking about all people. So that's why I don't mind putting anyone on, as long as they're deserving of that and they will give value back to that. Hence the guest list. As long as you give value, you will get value. Do you know what I mean? And I just think that it's important to recognize people out there doing their thing, and not only just because they're popular or they're I don't know, got X amount of followers, or, you know, they're from London or anything. People are just deserving of good things. Like, we're all deserving of those things, you know what I mean? And I think it's important to know. And I often think that people need to also be reminded, because more often than not, when we're going back to that school, you know, the original question you asked me, if you don't grow up with confidence, if you don't grow up with self-love, if you don't grow up with the idea of that you can use your voice, you often think that you just can't do those things. They're not available to you. You don't have the access. You've got a lack of resource, and by default, you almost talk yourself out of it, when actually you should be doing everything that, like, the opposite. Do you know what I mean? And I think they're systems that we create. So I just think it's important, which is why I also think it's important for us to be in universities, and like, we need to be everywhere. It's not just one way. It's you know, it's everywhere. And that's probably, like, that's kind of how I want to be remembered, is that I did all I can to let everyone feel like they were a part of something, rather than just these small demographics of people.
That's amazing. Can we have a round of applause, please, in the comment section? Just give me a hand clap for Shanice Mears.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for this evening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your words. And I don't have a physical present, but I wanted to give you this present. Is that okay?
Yeah.
There is a song that speaks about all those things you talked about knowing you have a voice, understanding more about who you are, and embracing all that you are. And there is a song, I always listen to it, and it's such a life giver. And so I want to give this song to you to digest,
Okay.
and embrace. And it's called "Don't Forget Who You Are," and it's by Common, the rapper Common.
Yeah, shout out, Common.
Yeah, so it's called, I'm gonna write it right here. don't forget who you are. So don't forget who you are. I'm just writing it here. And it's by Common. So if anybody else wants to check it out.
Yeah.
It is one of those songs you play in the morning and you walk out 10 feet and 15 feet tall.
Common is a poet, you know.
So that's from Sit Down to You. That's our little gift and little thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. Shani, we're wishing you all the best. We always say anybody that comes on this platform, it is an unwritten contract that we have with that person, that anything they're doing, we will jump on it. We'll support it. We'll push it out to the world to see. And that if you ever need anything from us in whatever capacity, we're here. Do you know what I'm saying? We are here, we're here, we're here, we're here. So thank you so much. And continue to shine. Continue to shine.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me. It's been a good chat.
No worries. Take care.
Take care. See ya.
No worries. Guys, thanks so much for joining us for 21 questions this week. If you are coming for your first time here or you enjoyed this session, could you please leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you for those who donated. If you do want to donate anything to Gosh is Great Ormond Street Hospital. It's a hospital for children, helping them deal with illnesses and ailments. Feel free to give anything before we close out. But I just want to big up some people in the comment section. Big up Cultured Game, big up Bree Chi, family, big up Anita. Who else have we got? Big up Neats, Emily Ode, Esco, big up Visuals by Lolly, DD, Crims, T Low, S Chinks, Pagey, TR, big up Julia always, every day, big up Kayla, Jerome, big up, who else have we got? Janita, Carol. Man, we've got better people, love it. Big up to all of you. Thank you for joining us this evening. If you, sorry, my voice going. If this helped you in any way, as soon as we finish this, it's going to be on our front page, on our profile page. Please, all I ask, share it to whoever you feel can benefit from it. And make sure you're tuned in next week, next Thursday, 9 p.m. If you do want to watch season 1 and 2, just click the IGTV player on our profile. You can watch like 50 episodes if you want tonight. Also, finally, join our mailing list. We're going to be going back to live events as well, as well as this interview platform here. And if you want to be kept informed of what the dates are, when the tickets go on sale, please join our mailing list. How do you do that? Click the link in the bio. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been IC. This is the Sit Down UK. This is 21 Questions, and I'm out. Peace.